Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Honorable for Dekan of the Faculty of Ushuluddin UIN Sunan Gunung Jati Bandung, Dr. Wahyudin Dharmalaksana, MAG, and all staff. The Honorable for all speakers and participants in the fourth Conference on Islamic and Socio-Cultural Studies 2022, the Faculty of Ushuluddin UIN Sunan Gunung Jati Bandung. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam best wishes all of us. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, greeting of virtues. Let me introduce myself. My name is Yunika Sari. I am from student religious studies, Faculty of Ushuluddin, Sunan Gunung Jati Bandung. For the first time, I want to say thank you for Allah, and I want to say thank you for the opportunity I can be explain my presentation in the fourth Conference on Islamic and Socio-Cultural Studies 2020, the Faculty of Ushuluddin, Sunan Gunung Jati Bandung. By the title, Disaster in the Institutional and Islamic Perspective. Okay, for the first time, I want to explain about my abstract. The first background, breakout question, proposed method, and the last result and conclusion. Okay, about background. Islam views disaster as an event that must be experienced by every human being, even though it occurs in different form and life level. This is one of the provision of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. It is certain. Disaster can befall human individually or an mass. So far, a Muslim, whatever the form of the disaster, is a test of this fight. Islam instructs its adherents to pay attention to and study the disaster that have befallen them, so that they are saved from the impact and of influence, which of course can be devastating and detrimental. The early generation of Islam accepted this disaster with pleasure and accepted Kurd profession as it had been taught by the Prophet Muhammad in accordance with the manhaj of the Quran, namely when facing a disaster to face it steadfastly and get up after a disaster strike, do positive thing with various shapes to face and repel the disaster. Okay, for the next, about breakout question. The research question is what is meant by disaster and its type. What is the perspective of the Islamic religion on disaster, and what is the process of disaster risk reduction both from disaster institution and from the perspective of Islam. Okay, for the next, about purpose. The purpose of this study is to discuss understanding disaster through the perspective of Islam. In this study, it is presented in more detail and socially, and in addition to discussion disaster from a religious perspective. This research also discuss disaster for a general and institutional perspective. Okay, for the next, about method. This research methodology uses qualitative research with library research to examine library research, such as books, articles, and the result of disaster scientific research from a religious perspective. This study used a descriptive approach to emphasize, review, and analyze the text related to predetermined themes. Furthermore, the result of the analysis from the literature search will be described according to the formulation that the results are summarized briefly and clearly. Okay, for the next, about a result and conclusion. Disaster is a lesson given by Allah through an event so that human can introspect. Disaster from an Islamic perspective will never just happen, but are caused by human activities. Even though it happened because of Allah will without human involvement, this is a form from Him with the wisdom behind the inciting. Disasters in the Quran are referred to in four themes, namely calamity, reinforcement, doom or punishment, and splendor or torture or test. There are various kinds of disaster mentioned in the Quran, one of which is earthquakes, hailstones, and cold typhoons. The factors mentioned include shirk, al-kufr, al-zuham, and al-fasad. In the Islamic perspective, there are three concepts used in the disaster risk reduction, namely al-ilmu, knowledge, ikhtiyar, effort, and trust definitely. Then in Islam also teach how to carry out disaster mitigation, disaster preparedness, emergency response, and recovery after a disaster. Positive thinking and trustworthiness when facing a disaster is the best attitude so that human can do so in introspection and self-evaluation so that they are closer and obedient to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Okay. Okay, the last for me, I have some word. Nature doesn't need a power of wisdom, but nature need a real action. Okay, maybe enough for me. Thank you for best attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.